Of course. Love finances, the other F word, and want to support the show? Become a patron by going to patreon.com/FTOFW. You'll get special features, a shout out on the air, and early releases. Or if you prefer, pick up some merchandise at financestheotherfword.com.
As fantastic a CFP as Mel O is, as wonderful an attorney as I am, and as good as Stormy is at whatever it is he does, please do note that anything said in our podcasts are our opinions alone and are not meant to be taken as financial or legal advice.
Welcome to Finances, the Other F Word, a Gen Xer podcast for musicians and music lovers, where we discuss money and music without all the pretentious bullshit. Here are your hosts, Zoe Terry, attorney at large, Stormy Andrews, founder of Yokel Local Marketing, and Mel O, certified financial planner and author of Finances, the Other F Word. Listener discretion is advised.
Stormy, why didn't you just shut the fuck up?
Yeah,
all night.
He can't help himself. Okay, so I don't even know if people heard anything, so we're not going to worry about it. Today, we're going to be talking about Hipgnosis, who has been in the news all of Flutter. Zoe's done a lot of music newses on it. I've done a lot of money newses on it. They're buying up song rights like fucking crazy, and so we wanted to dig a little deeper into them. But before we do that, Zoe has a shout out.
Yeah, it's a shout out to everyone in Great Britain. First of all, remember the 5th of November. Do either of you know what I'm talking about?
The 5th of November?
Yeah.
I think the more apt question would be, do we care? And the answer is no to both.
Is it that Dingleberry concert that you went to? Was that what it's called? Castleberry?
Glastonbury.
Glastonbury.
No. Okay.
It's not it.
You need to zip it right now. So 5th of November is bonfire night in England, usually, or Guy Fawkes night. It's when we usually have go to a big bonfire display and have fireworks and drink hot cocoa, and it's a big deal in England. But sadly, I presume no one will be enjoying such pleasures tonight because as of last night, England, well, I should say Great Britain, UK, is on their second lockdown. So I was just saying happy bonfire night to everyone back home, and sorry that you're on your second lockdown, and love you all lots.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they were on. What's the rules of this lockdown, or how long is it for? Do you have any idea? I'm just curious. Yeah,
I spoke to my grandmother today, bless her. It's a month right now. The furlough, people who are furloughed, it's actually until next March, but the current lockdown is for a month until the 2nd of December. So
all non-essential businesses? Or is it everybody? I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure. She just said that, you can only go out no one can come in your house. You can go to the dentist and the doctor, but other than that, it's stay in your house.
I mean, you can go to the grocery store, right?
I'm not even sure if you can. Yeah, I think you can. I don't know. When I spoke to my dad, they were doing the home delivery stuff, but yeah, it's lockdown time number 2. So, yep.
Speaking of number 2, are they running out of toilet paper?
I don't remember them having the sheer ridiculous panic that we did over here, but I'm sure they did to a certain extent. But anyway, more than anything, I wanted to tell you guys about bonfire night, which I'm sure I did last year, but you clearly took absolutely no interest because you don't remember it.
Yep.
But
remember what?
Nah, fuck off. Well, look at Lily Lou's Instagram, because there'll be more information and a lovely picture of her warming herself on a bonfire tonight. So
Lily Lou, who's that?
Fuck off.
Okay, dear God, we got to get this episode started. We've been fucking around with technical stuff for the last 30 minutes. And so, like I said before, we're going to talk about Hipgnosis, the company who's buying all the music rights. And then Zoe's going to talk a little bit about some of the songs that they have purchased. And so I'm not really sure. We've talked on this podcast before about where are you going, Zoe?
Just getting the light on.
Okay, well, don't walk away with my fucking state of the art headsets, because
I wouldn't want to break that. I wouldn't want to damage the merchandise.
No,
I was aware that I was hooked up.
Dust them off, put them back in the blister pack so I can take that shit back to Best Buy in pristine, really nice condition.
Okay, I won't lick them.
Okay, don't lick them. And so anyway, Hipgnosis is a company that's out of Great Britain. And like I said, if you've been reading if you've listened to our music news and our money news, both Zoe and I have referred to this multiple times. It is a company out of Britain, and it is an IP for song management. And it was founded by, and we're going to fuck this up all day, so we're going to start calling them Merck, but Merck Mercury Iitis, and co-founded by Nile Rodgers from Le Freak Out, and Freak Out. Yeah, thank you, Stormy, for the assist at the very end. The Family Music Limited is the advisory board and the investment advisor that is actually advising Hipgnosis. And so Merck, one of the co-founders of Nile Rodgers, he is obviously very famous, and he has managed Elton John, Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses, Nile Rodgers, Beyonce, and guess who else? It's your favorite, Zoe.
Oh, my Prince. No, I know he hasn't managed him, so I don't know. Who?
Morrissey.
Oh, God. Yeah, he's a right fucking tosspot right now. So, yeah, whatever.
So Hipgnosis Songs Fund, they are actually managed basically by the investment advisory board, the Family Music Limited. And what their whole job is that they are designed to go out and they want to buy song rights, and then they identify catalogs that have the potential for growth, and they do the ongoing management of all the songs. Their whole drive is to increase the royalties that they can earn from the songs, have better tracking, and then to basically supervise the portfolio. So what they're doing is they're buying all of these different catalogs. They're kind of putting them all together. They're putting an overlay of an advisory board on the top of it, and they're the ones who's kind of managing it. And they're made up of a whole bunch of people that have been in the music business for a long time. Nile Rodgers is on there, and obviously Merck, and there's a whole bunch of other ones. And they're kind of the ones that are driving all of this. And so what the company does directly and indirectly is that they enter into licensing agreements with different people who want to use the music, and then they get the payments for the use of the song. So they get payments for royalties, they get payments for licensing fees or any type of advance payments. They get money from mechanical royalties, which would be like if a copy of a song is actually pressed into like a CD or a DVD or a record, since they're having kind of a return digital. So if you have some kind of streaming webcast, or you have a permanent download, performance royalties. So if anybody performs the song live on broadcast television or radio, or if it's streamed online and as part of a live performance. We've talked about all this on different episodes about how different things are paid different ways. And the last thing is synchronization fees. So this would be if a song was used in a video game, like the what's that car?
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto, or TV shows or something like that. And what the advisory board does is they're looking for income and capital growth, and they're like I said, they're streamlining the process, because their whole point is that they want to really get a hold of all of the places that this music is being played. They want to make sure that the licensing agreements are square and that they're actually getting their money. And they don't really intend to sell any of the catalogs that they purchase. They do plan on holding them. And it works like you would see like a mutual fund. So a mutual fund has a fund objective, and the fund objective says, we're a, capital growth fund, or we're a growth fund, and therefore we won't have, any more than 30% bonds held in the portfolio at any one given time, et cetera, et cetera. So they have these parameters that are set up. And one of the parameters is that at any time, the asset of the advances on the songwriters will not make up more than 5% of their gross assets. And then that any one single song will not represent more than 10% of the company's gross assets. So think of like the biggest song you can think of, that when you have like a mutual fund, you have what's called style drift, or you can have like one stock that runs. So like, let's say, for instance, if you happen to get Apple right when it was the cheapest that it was, and then the next day it started its epic climb, then what will happen is that a mutual fund will end up getting skewed because that one position will become more and more and more percentage wise of the total overlay of all of the assets. And so they're saying, you know, we won't let this happen. And if it does happen after the fact, when we evaluate it, after we buy it, then we'll make any kind of adjustments that we need to. And their criteria for picking the songs that Zoe is going to be reviewing, which, you know, songs here in a minute, is that they're looking for songs that have that are hit songs, that have a track record of success, that have some type of cultural impact, that are culturally influential, meaning that they would be continuously played or covered by new recording artists. So you can think of, you know, 1999, or you can think of Celebrate, or you can think of something that has a massive appeal that can be played across many different events and that people might want to cover. And underexploited. So basically they don't, you know, want to have it heavily overexploited where if you hear it, you know, you're going to shoot yourself, like the Whitney Houston song that fucking to this day, every time I hear it, I can't even.
I believe I can fly. Is that the one?
That's
well,
R. Kelly.
That's R. Kelly. But
I believe the
thanks for coming.
Yeah, what's
our future?
Yeah, that one.
Well, and let them lead
that
the
song
way.
called?
Isn't that the same song?
No, we're singing R. Kelly versus Whitney Houston. What is that song called?
The one from The Bodyguard or a different one?
No, that Bodyguard is come on, you don't even know Whitney? You just did a music news on Whitney. No, this is the one. Children are our future, teach them well, let them lead the way, blah blah blah.
Is it We Are the World?
No. Shut up, you're making it worse. And there's people screaming at me right now because
I know.
Mel, what the fuck it see, I hate this song so much now. Children, future, tell them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride.
I will always love you.
Fuck no, that is from The Bodyguard. Fuck, you guys are being dicks. I'm serious. Our listeners like move this on, but I'm not moving on until I find out this fucking song. So somebody better Google that shit. The fucking
I believe the children are our future. That one?
Fucking hate both of you with
I'm trying to help.
No, you're not.
I believe I can fly. Okay, here we go. Here it is. It's coming. It's coming. Greatest love of all.
Oh, yes.
I was fucking Googling it right now because I seriously, and I remember the video and her aunt was in it. The fucking Dionne Warwick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was in this pretty white dress and they played the fucking bejesus out of it. And now when I hear that song, I cannot get to the change button fast enough. So songs like that are overexploited, they want to stay away from. And then basically they want to, as the investment advisor, they want to try to find some different cover opportunities. So going back to the ones that have culturally experience, if there's a song like the fucking American Pie song that everybody and their mother keeps doing it, those are the types of songs that they're looking for. And so the whole purpose of this fund and this advisory committee and this company buying up all these song catalogs is that because songs are defensive. So a lot of times when I'm purchasing something for a client, I will say, we need to put some defensive stock in there. And that doesn't mean guns and shit. That doesn't mean planes and stuff. It means toilet paper, toothpaste, usually food, canned goods, things like that, things that are considered defensive against a recession, things you're going to have to buy. You're going to have to buy deodorant, you're going to have to buy toothpaste, you're going to have to buy toilet paper. That's considered a defensive stock. So they look at it and they are completely right that songs are a defensive asset, which means that regardless of the economic cycle that you're in, you're going to listen to music or you're going to want to go see music if you can afford it. But the point is that there's still going to be music streamed and you're still going to have an opportunity for your assets to increase. And because of that, they think, of course, obviously they're going to be appreciable assets. And in between that, they're also monitoring different playlists and different other opportunities that are coming through. They're trying to get really tight on their numbers to really track all of this. Now, this is going to get really interesting because these guys, since July of 2018, have fucking raised a fuck ton of money, you guys. And we're going to talk a little bit about how they've done that. And we've talked about this on previous episodes. So it's first full year of being publicly traded. So we talked about what happens when a company goes public. That's considered an IPO, initial public offering. They had more than 5,000 songs, and approximately 2,000 of those 5,000 songs were number one hit somewhere in the world. And out of them, 4,000 had been in the top 10. And out of those, 5 songs had appeared in the top 10 Billboard Hot 100 of the decade chart. So I think one of their acquisitions, and Zoe might cover this just recently, has been Journey. So if you think, Don't Stop Believin', Who's Crying Now, you think any of those songs, I mean, they're pretty weathered and they're time resistant. So let's get into some of the numbers, because this is kind of fucking crazy. So Hipgnosis Songs Fund has raised 1.052 billion pounds since it was established in 2018, and it went public just in July 2018. And so in July 2020, it was reported that Hipgnosis Music's rights portfolio, consisting of about 13,300 songs, had been valued at 760 million pounds. And then it surpassed the market cap mark of $1 billion in August of 2020. We've talked about market cap. And this was July of 2020. Now you're going to see that numbers actually went up. So in July of 2018, it hit the British Stock Exchange with a ticker symbol of SONG, SONG. So if you go to buy a stock, you need a ticker symbol. So MGM, that's casino. That's also their ticker symbol. MGM, Southwest Airlines is Love, LUV, etc. And their IPO was oversubscribed, meaning that there were so many people that wanted to get the IPO that they ran out of shares that they actually made public. And so right after the IPO, they announced that they had gotten a 75% acquisition of their very first big catalog by The Dream for 18.83 million pounds. And there's a couple different songs in there. I'll just mention one because Zoe's going to mention Rihanna's Umbrella. And Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It. So that was during that acquisition. And then what happened is that it was on the London Stock Exchange, but it got picked up by the FTSE 250. So the FTSE 250 is an index in London. We've talked about the S&P 500 here. We've talked about the Dow Jones here. Those are indexes. They track what's going on in the stock market. So SONG is traded on the London Stock Exchange, and it is tracked by the FTSE 250, which is a mid-cap index. We've also talked about mid-caps on this podcast before, so you can go back and listen to it. We have 200-something plus episodes. You'll get your jollies off. By the end of 2018, they had acquired a catalog by Pooh Bear, which had 214 songs, which had a myriad of a whole bunch of different people in it, which I will leave for Zoe to cover. And then in April of 2019, they did another capital raise for 146.5 million pounds. And they turned around and they acquired another huge music catalog. And for anything that Zoe doesn't cover, I'll come back and kind of touch on all of the things. One of the things I do want to touch on, though, because this was crazy, which included Timbaland's catalog. So we're going to go back to that in a minute. So if you can think of everybody who's been under Timbaland, then they got that with the music catalog. So then in August of 2019, they raised another 49.9 million pounds. And then an additional, right behind that, 233.7 million pounds in October. And so as of October 2019, they had over 6,000 songs with hits in every decade since the 1950s, and the portfolio was valued at 1.2 billion pounds. Okay. And it's very interesting how they did this, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit. July 2nd, we had them issue different shares, and they raised an additional 200 million pounds. But basically what they're doing is they're taking the portfolio and they're slicing off different things. So they issued a Class C share. They issued a new tranche on the common shares, made them Class C, and then raised an additional 200 million pounds. And then they released their annual report for 2020, showing that they had revenue for the fiscal year of 2020 of 65.661 million pounds. And so these guys are kicking right along. And then when the new tranche that I was just talking about that they actually issued with the 200 million additional pounds that they raised, that one was oversubscribed, meaning that they had more people that wanted in it than they could actually possibly do anything with it. And then they ended up bringing between all of those things I kind of touched on in the last couple months of that time frame, raising a total of 862 million pounds, and then which is fucking stupid. And then in September 2020, they merged with they didn't merge. They bought Big Deal Music, which had over 4,400 copyrights in its portfolio, and then they issued another tranche on their shares to raise an additional 190 million pounds. And so all in, what they have raised is they have raised over 1.052 billion dollars since they went public in 2018. Pounds. That's right. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Pounds. I know I have to keep, as I'm saying it, I have to keep stopping and flipping and going back. And so what they're doing is that they're just continuously raising capital, and more and more and more people are selling to them. And the way that they are raising capital is because usually what happens is that when you go with an IPO, you have a certain amount of shares that you're going to release to market. So if you have 1 million shares and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to release on my IPO 1 million shares, that's all that's out there. So you can buy and sell it, but everybody is buying and selling or holding out of the same million shares that they originally issued. So what they're doing is they're tranching it so that they can continue to issue more things to raise more and more money to buy these catalogs, and people are selling. And one of the ones that just sold, which I did a money news on, which broke my heart, was Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue. He sold the entire rights to every song. Nikki is the founder, the bassist, and the songwriter of the group, and he sold all the song rights to Hipgnosis. And of course, the details of that deal were not disclosed. And not like he needs the money. I mean, Nikki's worth $145 million, so he's fine, and his kids are fine, and his new 2-year-old girl, when he's in his 60s, is fine. She's adorable. But this is the moneymaker for the artists. And I obviously Hipgnosis has no problem raising funds, and they are on a massive buying spree. So we're seeing so many artists sell out. So we're going to let Zoe talk a little bit about some of what those songs entail, and anything she missed, I can go back and fill it in, because it's a lot of motherfuckers. It's a ton of people.
So if you were an artist, let's say if you were an artist, Mel O and the Pussycats, would you sell out to Hipgnosis?
I don't know, because the thing is that according to their in their fund objective outline, they say that they have the ability that they can buy catalogs from the artist by either cash, straight up cash, or cash with the mix of stock. So like there's the big thing, William Shatner, when he did Priceline, right? He was Priceline negotiator. So he didn't get rich by the money they paid him for the commercial. He got rich because they gave him a fuck ton of stock options, which he executed. I don't know how good they're doing now, but that's what made him a fuck ton of money. So if I'm Nikki Sixx, and I'm totally fine. The other guys in the group have no say on it because they didn't write anything. They don't have any input on it. And they told me that they would give me shares in lieu of cash for some of those transactions. I might do it because that's something that I could hold and pass on to a generation. The thing that concerns me about this is that it's like a Disney in the making, right? Except it's audio. And, you know, we've talked 1,000 times about my uncomfortableness with monopolies, but at the same time, I get it. They're very smart. They know what they're doing. So if I was Nikki Sixx and they just offered me cash, I mean, I'm sure obviously with the $145 million net worth, you don't really need any money. I mean, probably not if it was me, but if they came in and said, hey, Mel, we want to buy your catalog and we're going to give you, you know, this much cash, which is irrelevant to me because I'm worth 145 million, but we're going to give you this many stock options or this many stocks that can be transferred to generation after generation, I'd probably take that deal. The thing is that, you know, it's the problem of tracking all of the licensing, right? So even if I hold on to my music rights catalog, if I don't have somebody that's tracking that music, and a lot of the BMIs, and there's a whole bunch of different companies that track the music royalty, but you're kind of hoping that they're not going to screw you, right? You're hoping that they're tracking them correctly. And obviously these guys have been around for a long time, so they know what they're doing and they do a good job. So BMI, ASCAP, and CSAC are the three biggest that track the royalties. But you're still at the, you're still at the mercy of somebody else, hoping that they're tracking your shit. And I mean, Hipgnosis is really seemed to be having a goal on it, but I don't know. I was really heartbroken when I found out all the artists that sold.
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the benefits of doing that in my little bit, so perhaps I'll answer your question. But I am going to talk about some of the songs that they have bought in a minute. But as Mel said, we've both posted various, either talked about and I've posted quite a few articles about Hipgnosis over the past year probably. And one of the more recent ones was an article from the BBC News on the 17th of October, which you can find on our Facebook page. And it included an interview with Merck. And one of the things that was very interesting, which I'm sure you'll all agree, is that the Church of England is an investor in Hipgnosis.
Wow.
Really?
Yes. So,
but is the Church of England nonprofit? Does the nonprofits work over there like they do here?
No, I believe that it's different. I've never really looked into it, but I believe from doing my research, I think they do have to. Okay. There's more disclosure than there is over here. But Merck was asked in this interview with BBC News, he said that songs are very predictable and reliable in their income streams, which is what you were talking about, and that hit songs are a stable investment because their revenue isn't affected by fluctuation in the economy, which again is what you alluded to, in that music is consumed in good times and bad times, and so it's always generating income. So music is, it's always going to be there. And he was quoted as saying that the music that he's bought is more valuable than gold or oil. And interestingly enough, although the company is English, he's from Quebec in Canada. Mm-hmm. He worked for Virgin Records in the marketing department for a long time and then became the CEO of Sanctuary Group. In terms of the songs that they've bought, a third of the songs that they own are 10 years old or older, 10 years plus in age. 59% of the songs are 3 to 10 years old, and fewer than 10% are new releases. Because, like you said, they're looking at songs that are going to make them money. And in this article, they reference the Bowie bonds, which we did a whole episode on, to show that investing in artists' future earnings is nothing new. But with Bowie, his asset-backed securities, where he awarded investors a share in the royalties of certain of his songs, were essentially a loan. And if he didn't make as much money as was predicted, he would have had to surrender the rights to his songs. Whereas Merck says that his deals are more sophisticated, and that the artists whose songs he buys are paid about 15 years worth of royalties up front. And then Hipgnosis owns the songs in perpetuity, but they also act as a song management company, and that's what they're getting. And it's in their best interest to track the royalties and to get them out there. So that's what you're getting, as well as the money. You're getting a company that it's in their interest to push the use of the song. And do you know what I mean? So I guess that's.
Yeah, but as the artist, though, if you're selling 100% of the rights to the song, it doesn't matter if they're tracked anymore to you, because you've already made your money, unless you do a cash and a stock,
right?
A mix. And one of the things, and I'm sorry, let me just touch on this. It's very interesting that you brought that up, Zoe, because one of the things I forgot to tell you is that out of all of the artists and everything that in the songs and people she's going to start talking about, this I found very, very interesting. So we talked about Nile Rodgers being in Chic, Le Freak, freak out, blah, blah, blah. Well, Hipgnosis Songs Group has been buying, Songs Fund has been buying all of these rights to all these songs, but Nile Rodgers only him and his co-founder of his catalog, Bernard Edwards, they only sold Hipgnosis a 37.5% stake in their music, which means that they retained the rest of it. And I just thought that was so hilarious and interesting that the whole point of the company is to go buy song rights and catalogs, but he's on the board of the investment advisory group, and he only sold a 37.5% interest to the group of his catalog. So he's keeping something for something.
Right.
And when I came across that number, it's the subtleties in the numbers. I'm like, okay, something is he's making something is going on, because obviously he thinks that he has bigger fish to fry, or he has some kind of deferred something going on. So anyway, Zoe, I'm sorry. I just wanted to mention that because I thought that's super interesting.
That's okay. So in terms of some of the catalogs that they've bought, Mel already mentioned catalogs that they bought from The Dream and Timbaland, Pooh Bear, Nikki Sixx and the Motley Crue. They also bought catalogs from Blondie, L.A. Reid, RZA, Cobalt, and last year they bought songs from Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics. So I'm going to go through those in more detail. So L.A. Reid sold 100% of the publishing interests and writer's share of the income in his music catalog. And that comprised of 162 songs, and he sold them. And he runs Hitco Entertainment, which he co-founded in 2018, and includes artists such as Jennifer Lopez, Outkast, Big Boy, The Dream, DeLacy, Yella Breezy, Dixie D'Amelio. Haven't heard of half of those, but anyway, L.A. Reid is a Grammy-winning songwriter and producer, and he worked with Whitney Houston, collaborated with her on I'm Your Baby Tonight and Queen of the Night. He also wrote songs and produced with Boys to Men and Bobby Brown, and lots of other songwriting, producing credits, including Sheena Easton, Karen White, Pebbles, Tony Braxton. And so, yeah, so he's sold, like, what did I say, 162 songs out of his catalog.
Yeah, and L.A. Reid worked with Pink too.
Yeah, I was just getting to that. Yeah, he co-founded, is it, I don't know if it's LA Face or La Face, I presume it's LA Face Records with Babyface. And he was the one who discovered Usher, TLC, Outkast, Tony Braxton, and Pink. And then later on, LA Face merged with Arista Records and became the CEO and president there. And he signed Avril Lavigne and Kiara. And then he had an instrumental role in bringing Mariah Carey's career back to the top of the charts with The Emancipation of Mimi. And while he was there, he also had a major role in the success of Kanye West, our future president, let's hope. Rihanna. Yeah, let's
come on,
not.
Nevada, get your shit
Yeah,
together.
come on, get counting, stop resting. Rihanna, which you already mentioned, Bon Jovi, The Killers, Rick Ross, Fall Out Boy, and Neo, and also helped Jennifer Lopez with her comeback album Love. And he was responsible for signing the unknown 14-year-old Justin Bieber. And he didn't stop there. So when he left IDJ and went to Epic Records in 2011, he signed and developed Meghan Trainor, Camila Cabello, Future, Travis Scott, DJ Khaled, and 21 Savage. So, I mean, there's a ton of artists and songs there.
Stormy doesn't give a shit about what's going on right now. He's just typing.
Okay, let me tell you something. I'm making notes.
Oh,
so I'm going to tell you about how L.A. Reid.
Do you see this?
You
see this for me? That's what you're doing.
Okay, then their portfolio also includes 18,000 songs from Network, which Cobalt Capital acquired in 2016, and their list of hits includes A couple of songs from Fleetwood Mac, Go Your Own Way and The Chain. Mariah Carey's hits, All I Want for Christmas Is You, which I'm sure Mel loves, and One Sweet Day. Enrique Iglesias's...
No, that's Stormy, because
That's not me. That's not me.
Oh, maybe that's me.
See?
Only Zoe would fuck her own self in the middle of her own part. I'm like, I'm not touching nothing. Like, I got nothing going on.
I don't know why that's doing that. Enrique Iglesias, Hero. That was huge, right?
Oh my God, that song. I had a boyfriend that I dated. He was like, when I think of this song, I think of you. I was like, don't ever. Don't play it in the fucking car. Don't sing it to me ever. I will punch you in your nuts. I swear to God.
It's so got into your head though.
Hero, baby. Oh, it makes me want to fucking puke.
Well, that's in there. They got that. They got Steve Winwood's Higher Love. Blind Faith, Can't Find My Way Home.
Wait. You gave a song I knew. Bring back a higher love. Oh, how'd I do that? Did I do that one pretty good?
Yeah,
that's great.
Okay,
that's actually the rhythm to the song. So we're gonna.
Well done there. They've also got I Love Me, some George Benson. Never Give Up on a Good Thing by George Benson. Bad to the Bone by George Thorogood. Bad to the Bone. I'm sure you know that one. Halo by Beyonce. Love Shack by the B-52s. I mean, that's a corker, whether you like it or not. In the Club by 50 Cent. Sorry by Justin Bieber. You should be Justin Bieber. Yeah. Don't You Worry Child by Swedish House Mafia. Hot in Here by Nelly.
Oh, they got hot in here.
So take off all your clothes. I am getting so hot. I want to take my clothes off.
That's not even you were making up a.
What was that?
That was not the beat of the song. I don't know. You got all like.
I was just getting excited.
It's the headset. It's a headset. It's making you fucking.
Because I can't hear. So I'm going to my own like rhythm.
Dude, hearing does not control. It comes out of your mouth. I don't know that rhythm.
Oh, it does. Awful. They're connected. Sugar by Maroon 5 and Let It Go by Demi Lovato that Frozen song. They've got that one. Well, they can have it. To be fair.
See? Okay, do you know?
Okay.
Do you notice what Zoe just did? She's moving her handwritten notes to the side.
Oh.
No, actually, my other ones were handwritten. These are printed, and I much prefer, and that's why I'm not doing so well. I should have written it, because now I'm getting all bothered. Other songs, Raw and Teenage Dream by Katy Perry. Yeah.
Raw and Teenage Dream. I don't know. Yeah, either one of those.
Okay, bit too young and hip.
Do they just they just go in? I mean, I guess what you said, I just want to stop there for a second.
Sure.
So they'll go to an artist and they'll just say, hey, I want to buy this song and that song, and that's it.
No, because these were songs that were owned by a company already.
I see.
So they buy them from, if you were listening to me, Cobalt, I think was the name of the company.
Yeah, but it's just
Cobalt Music Copyrights.
But forget Cobalt Music copyrights, but they'll still go to an artist and just say, hey, I want to buy that one song because I think that song is going to have longevity.
If the artist
is that how it works?
Right. But with most record companies, the record company owns the rights. But like with one of the things that they purchased, she's on Cobalt, but this is farther back. Timbaland, I mentioned, they got all 6 of Missy Elliott's albums, and they got all 5 of Justin Timberlake's. Timbaland. Why do I'm getting Timberlake? So Justin Timberlake, all his solos and all of Missy Elliott's, because that was all under Timbaland, and he's the one who owned all the song rights. So he sold all of the song rights. So now all those royalties are going to go to Hipgnosis Songs Fund.
Yeah,
right.
I still have it.
But
so does Missy Elliott still get anything? Does it roll from them, and then whatever her original deal was? Timbaland, like, hey, I get a penny per time it's played. Does she still get her penny?
Well, it depends, because the thing is that if it was structured in the record deal like that, but most of the time, any of the royalties that come, she would get paid on performances. and she would get paid on doing stuff that's Missy Elliott. But as far as like when you turn on the radio and you hear, you know, work it, she's not going to get paid for that because she doesn't own the asset. So no, I mean, if at the beginning in the record deal, maybe there was a slice of it, but that's one of the things that they do that they're very adamant, because Motley Crue didn't originally own their music either. But what ended up happening was in 1991, 1994. So they had Dr. Feelgood came out in 1991. It was a massive hit and it carried them through 1992 and 3. Then the band broke up. And then what happened is grunge hit, and then the hair metal just went off the cliff. And so what happened is that Nikki and I can't remember, somebody else had a conversation, and the lady who was at their record label, and I can't remember it now, basically thought they were washed up, and for some reason relinquished the rights to all of their music. And then they ended up getting a different singer, and then they came back and they put out even more music. That's the only reason why Nikki even owned it, to sell it. So
that's
like
crazy.
Yeah, like the Beatles catalog.
Right.
No, the Beatles catalog, Michael Jackson's estate owns the Beatles catalog, because remember, he bought it when he was alive.
Right.
So they can easily probably go to Michael Jackson's estate and buy the whole Beatles copyrights right out from under. Well, I mean, he already bought it out from under Paul McCartney. So I guess at this point it doesn't matter, right?
That would be a great catalog to own.
Yeah. I mean, if you want songs that are timeless, and it makes sense, Zoe, because I didn't come across that. So it makes sense that if most of the music they're buying is how old did you say? Like 10 years old, or?
At least 10 years old.
At least 10 years old.
And I think the 59% are 3 to 10 years old.
Okay. Yeah. So if you have songs that have been out over 10 years, 9 times out of 10, there are probably a lot of one-hit wonders in there. That the record company, whoever actually owns it, they could keep it, but it's probably going to be more of a pain in the ass to try to track when it's played than just to give it over as part of like a, like, hey, here you go. Here's a whole bunch of one-hit wonder songs from the, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Boom, take it as a package deal. Now they don't have to worry about it anymore, and then they get an asset. I mean, I'm sure that's probably a lot of what happened, but I mean, it makes sense if you want to get a cheaper, undervalued asset that is still timeless, then it would make sense that they would be going after songs that are older instead of the new stuff.
Plus the new stuff is mostly shit.
Yeah. But, and one of our FTOFW money news is, Stormy, which I know you listen to emphatically, TikTok finally reached a licensing agreement, which I believe it was, I can't remember who it was with. Anyway, that they are paying more for the artists that they are actually putting on the TikTok platform. And they have committed to the record labels that they will start pushing the new music.
Oh.
So it's kind of a weird thing, because we have another revenue stream that's popped up in the music industry all of a sudden that is wasn't there. I mean, just, think of before Grand Theft Auto, you didn't really have music and video games, and then that popped up, and now TikTok has popped up. So it's just curious to see what is going to pop up in the future. But if you're going to bet on anything digital music related, then the music rights are what exactly you want to own, but I was heartbroken when Nikki sold them. I just couldn't believe it. And
then on just a somewhat similar vein, BTS, the top K-pop band, Big Hit Entertainment is their agency. They went public last month on the Korean stock exchange. So a lot of their fans are going crazy to try and buy a share in them. So that's kind of an interesting concept.
Was BTS the one who went public, or was it the actual company that manages them or that records them? Or?
Well, it was Big Hit Entertainment. Okay, their agency.
Agency. Okay, yeah.
The way they termed it and sold it to their fans is that it's, you're getting a piece of BTS. Right. So.
Yeah. So, and we're starting to see, if you reference the most recent money newses that I've done, we're starting to see consolidation. So we had a whole bunch of consolidation in the music industry at, I can never remember if it was like 2000 or 2010. And we saw a lot of the big distributors, they started, kind of minimizing. And now what we're seeing is these big, fuck, I just did a money news on it. And I think it was Sony Music, and Sony Music had basically two record producing sectors, and they've merged them, and they've merged them because they're trying to go do the same thing that Hipgnosis has done or is doing very well. And they're trying to start going out and buying all of these massive song rights. So, I mean, it is a commodity. You know, we've talked about commodities on this podcast before. Gold's a commodity. If you buy gold here in Nevada, who needs to count their fucking votes, or if you buy gold in Washington State, it's gold. That's a commodity. Carrots, lettuce, pork bellies, etc. So now we're seeing that a lot of there's kind of merging going on in the music industry, as everybody's making a massive run now to try to get these music rights. And as we mentioned, since most of the music rights are usually owned by the record labels, now that we have some artists like, you know, Adelita's Way, we had Rick DeJesus on the podcast where he's done it his own way. Some of the power of the record labels are kind of falling out, and the fact that they still fuck the artists, which is bullshit, you know. So I don't know. It's interesting, but they are going fucking gangbusters, and they're probably going to be moving out of the FTSE 250, I would imagine, here probably within the next 2 years, just because they're going to be moving from a mid cap into a large cap. And then if they keep going at this rate, you know, potentially a mega cap. So very interesting stuff. We'll have to see how it plays out in the music industry. And if you guys, you know, have any feedback that you want to give us on that, you can always reach out to us on our Google line. Do you know what that is, Stormy?
Yes. 702
No.
or 800 888.
No.
855.
No.
I think what Stormy's trying to say
877.
No.
8675309. Yeah, I think that's what you were trying to do. I know.
That's correct.
I have this uncanny ability that Stormy sings some shit that's completely different, and I know, even though it's the wrong lyrics and the wrong beat, and he mixes them, I know exactly what he's trying to sing. No, I think what Stormy's trying to say is that our Google number is 775-537-4352. So you can give us a call, give us feedback, or you can give us input on the show. Was that everything you had to cover, Zoe, or was there more?
Hey, I do have a question for you. So when you were talking about Hipgnosis, I went to my TD Ameritrade account.
Okay.
So I'm like, hey, let me check this stuff out, right? I typed in song, like you told me, SONG. And when I did that, it took me over to HPGSF, which is Hipgnosis Song Fund. So it can like change the ticker symbol on me as if it's a pink sheet over the counter stock. Is that the same one? Because it's $1.64 a share.
I don't think it's the same one. So there's a couple of things when you're talking about, and I kept this up just to see, because I was tracking it today to see what it would actually close at. And according to Google Finance, which I'm waiting for it to come back up, it was at about 116 pounds a share. So
this is different.
Yeah. So what happens is, and it might be a spinoff or something. So what happens is that when you have a company that is from another country, so in this case, you know, Hipgnosis, and I was actually trying to find out if they were an ADR. If you can buy, as an American, you can buy a share or shares of Hipgnosis Songs Fund on the London Stock Exchange. But what you will be liable for is you will be liable for taxes here in America and taxes in London on the shares that you own, unless it has an ADR, which is an American deposit receipt. So there's a lot of companies why can't I think of fucking any of them now? Like any tech companies that are, you know, coming, and I don't know why I can't think of any, but they're, you know, like if you have a tech company out of, you know, Korea, or a tech company out of China, or a tech company out of somewhere, if they have an ADR, they're going to have a different ticker symbol over here. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be buying the shares of stock, but you're going to have them where you don't have to pay taxes in the country that the company is already set up. You're going to actually only have to pay taxes over here. So if I have clients who want to invest globally, or they want to invest in countries that are over in the foreign countries, if they don't have ADRs, then I just let them know you can absolutely do this. but you're going to get double taxed on it because you're getting taxed from 2 countries. So I don't think as of now, and I tried to research it. I don't think as of now, Hipgnosis has an ADR. So it closed today. Yeah, its range, its 52-week trading range is 85 pounds to 126 pounds. And it looked like it closed today at 116 pounds. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that was at the open. Does not tell me what it closed at. Okay, so that was at the open. That wasn't at the close. But today, fucking everything was going gangbusters. I don't know what's going on with the market. Everything was green. Energy was green. Fucking bonds were green. FTSE was green. Nikkei was green. The S&P, the Dow, the fucking energy stocks, gold. It was like it was just green, 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 all the way down. And usually if something's green, that means something else is red. I don't know. It was a crazy day, but I'm not bitching. I know the Dow, last time I looked, was up over 500 points. And it looks like the Dow closed to 542 points to the positive, which is about, is a 1.85%, which sounds really sexy, but the Dow was only 30 stocks. So really what we're looking at is the S&P, but even the S&P was up 1.95%. And so we're coming off a huge rally this week, which is crazy with all the stuff going on in the United States and the election and Nevada not being able to get their stuff together. So if anybody doesn't have anything else, nope. Okay. So damn it, Stormy. My financial packages, you fuck. You're supposed to remind me.
That's why we write down, let me see. You know what? I had it right here on my notes too. I don't see that. Anyway, so we'll get to them next time. Next time we are going to talk about them going into the new year. But make sure that you pick up Finances, the Other F Word, Another F Word to Love on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Target. Pick up Stormy's book, The World's Best Buyer Persona System. Make sure you follow Lily Lou Mittens on Instagram, and while you're at it, follow Finances, the Other F Word. I am being more diligent with trying to load shit onto our YouTube channel. YouTube is not my favorite medium, but I know that a lot of people like it, and we have over 40 videos on there right now. So I'm trying like hell to get our back catalog up there. Some of it has video, some of it just audio, you guys. It is what it is. Sometimes just Stormy forgot to record video or something like that. And so some of our older ones, but you'll see Mel like every other day with different hair color, because before COVID, I used to be able to get my hair colored all the time. But anywho, so with that, I think that's it. Are we out this bitch?
Yeah,
that's it.
Peace out. Yep.
Be sure to check out our Finances, the Other F Words playlists for each episode on Spotify.